Hello, is that Kyle?
It's really nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
You know, the compliments up front, the hooks on this album are so big and great, and they're everywhere.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know how being a writer for as long as you have, most of the time, people, they kind of peter out or whatever, and somehow, you're exactly, I'm sure, where you want to be on this.
Yeah. I'm grateful because a lot of people I've always loved, they seem to make a couple of great records, and in 10 years down the line they're done. But for some reason, I just keep on growing as a writer, I guess. I'm still got a lot to learn. So why you still got growing to do? You grow.
Yeah. Well, how did it happen?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, how did it happen this time around with you all? I mean, is everybody still in the same place? Did you write alone and bring it into the band? I mean,
it was an odd situation because we were always talking about doing another record. We get together once or twice a year and we do gigs, odd festivals, and they're always very good. And without fail, the band go, "Oh, we should make a record," and all the rest of it, and this could do this. But as soon as we've flown back to wherever we live, everyone forgets about it. So last year we did a festival in Portugal, in a beautiful place called Aguida, and they said to me the usual thing, "Oh, let's do an album." I said, "Guys, I'm sick of you, and this is the last 10, 15 years. If you want to make a record, do something about it. Either get someone to fund it or do a pledge and give me a buzz." And fair play to Pete Rizzo, he got on with it, got the pledge running, and we reached the target easily. One of the big differences of this record is I've written most of the songs. I mean, I've written over half the album myself on all the songs I'm involved with. But Pete Rizzo got more involved with me, the bass player. I played more guitar and keyboards and singing. So he was adding things to the mix, which he'd never done before. He's an amazing bass player, but he'd never written songs. But we've been working together on another project called Ugly Bugs, which is very theatrical, kind of much more synthesized based kind of duo, we have lots of makeup and wigs and all this stuff, and we do odd gigs, and he was heavily involved in that. And I think we developed a lot writing, and actually some of the Ugly Bugs songs made it to the record. How Do You Say Goodbye to Someone You Love was an Ugly Bugs song. So James just came to see us live, James Stevenson, and thought, "Oh my God, that has to be, you have to record that with an orchestra and all the rest of it." And he played as Tony Visconti of David Bowie, T-Rex, etc. fame, and he loved it, and he did the string arrangement for it. So it was an amazing record because there was a budget, and as you know, the record business is not as it was. The funds are not there usually, but it was a tight budget. We raised about 40 grand, whatever it was we needed to make the record. We got a proper producer, which is Peter Walsh, who also did Desire and House of Dolls and those albums for us, and Heavenly Bodies. We used a proper studio, which was in the country. Barry Barlow's from Jethro Tull. He's an amazing guy, Barry. He owns a little studio. And we just got on with it. It was no time wasted. We just dug straight in. We prepared the songs. I sent songs I thought should be on the album, and the band listened to them. We all sat in the studio for the final song. Actually, was "Is It Me?" I'd written some other songs, and I didn't think they fitted the album. And I played them all these songs. And as soon as I played that song, they went, "Oh, we have to do that one." So that was the last song we recorded. Wow. So yeah, it was magical. It all went very, very, very quickly. I mean, 1 minute I was working on my solo stuff, and then I literally I'm in London now, but I was staying in LA working on stuff. And I flew over, and we just did it, and amazingly, it all just came together really quickly. So,
yeah. And kind of, it's interesting because, you get your old producer, and of course, you've got this old lineup that you used back in the late '80s, and then there's the re-releases that's also coming out, and it seems like there's sort of a danger of the nostalgia, this being for nostalgia, but I don't get that sense at all. Like, were you even guys using those as touchstones, the reissues or anything like that?
Not at all. No. I mean, we're all old friends, I've been playing with them since 1985. Mm-hmm. I've known Chris Bell since before there was a Gene Loves Jezebel, but I have to admit, with the last 5 years, we do gigs, and we just literally get together for fun. And it's amazing how this has regenerated us. When we had to say, "Okay, I've got some songs, got to do these songs," and everyone was just so up doing the record. I've never done an album where we've been more of a band, actually, because we're all literally on the mixing desk getting excited by all the songs. And Barry from Jethro Tull was coming in, and he was loving songs. And it was everyone involved just loved doing it, which is and usually every record I've ever made, someone doesn't like the drum arrangement or whatever technology we're using. But this one was very different. So no, and we just did some gigs in Europe. We did Netherlands, Germany, Portugal again, and London. And the energy, it was amazing. We actually did How Do You Say Goodbye to Someone You Love as the last song in the set, which is pretty unusual to a new song, and also a ballad, basically, as a last song. But it really moved people, and it's added. I mean, this record's added a whole new thing to the set, to the song. When you put new songs into a set, it just livens everybody up, and it's all fresh to you again. You're not just rehashing your hits. So yeah, it's been an amazing process for us. Yeah. It helps that we're all great friends, that's for sure.
I don't know, maybe I'm kind of putting it something where it's not there, but it almost seems to have a seasonal theme to the record. I mean, of course, you mentioned "Summertime" as one of the songs, sure. In the song title, but there's also "Chase the Sun," and I don't know, there seems to be these drops in there, and I'm assuming this is all a metaphor for something and not just literal.
Well, it's with the era we live in, we've gone through all these Brexits and the governments around the world, and there's a lot of unrests. And I think I could easily have made a political record, but I decided to kick against that and make an album that was up and was positive and made people feel good. Because it would have been so easy to make a cynical record and a dark record. I decided to make it smooth. And coming from the UK, of course, we love blue skies, and I'm one of these people that can go for a walk for 20 miles a day, 30 miles a day. As soon as the sun's out, I'm out there. So it is a metaphor for sure,
Yeah. And I'd kind of thought that, like, I'd wondered at one moment, as like, is this an optimistic record or a pessimistic record? Because it does, you always seem to fake right and, go left. Which is what a good songwriter usually goes for. So
yeah, I definitely wanted to keep everybody up, and it was totally look forward. I think that was important for me. Maybe that's what I've learned as I've grown older. You got options. Which way to go, what decisions to make when you write a song, and I'll write other songs. I do write other songs, but for this album, I just found it a very focused record, and there's no fat on it. I think it all works. There's nothing just gratuitous in there. Everyone worked really hard, and James Stevenson's inspired. And I just couldn't believe the guitar parts he came up with, because he's only a songwriter. He's only on one song as a songwriter, but his contributions are massive. So
it's almost like people say you've got all the time in the world to write your first album, and then of course things get away from you, but you guys, I guess because of the time in between, it was almost like that again, that you
yeah. The producer said to me, Jay, I can't believe I've released 10 albums in the last 10 years. But I'm never in a hurry just to push stuff out. I use music just as almost like self-therapy, really. I just do it. Even if you look at me on Facebook, I'll just post ideas really quickly. It hasn't had dozens, if not 100 in the last 6 months. I'll just put things up on Instagram just to entertain people, because it comes to me in a flash, and it's something I call like a pure music, where this is how you feel and just put it out there. So that's how I write a song. So they're always inspired in that way, which is I always find a good way of writing. I never sit down like, okay, I must write a song today. I've never done that.
No 9 to 5 for you on that.
No, once in my entire life I wrote a song for somebody, and that was for Interview with a Vampire, which didn't get used in the end because Geffen used Guns N' Roses because they were on Geffen.
Oh, wow.
But I wrote a song called Who Wants to Go to Heaven, which Anne Rice and everybody loved. But at that time, Guns N' Roses were going through a funny little time and struggling. Spaghetti Incident had come out, which had died, and they literally hastily recorded Sympathy for the Devil, which was frustrating, but that's the music industry, or certainly the film industry. From what I've learned, you just sit around waiting, and you think you've got it, and then you haven't got it. So, but that was the only time I've ever written for somebody else.
That's a hell of a band too. If that be the only time, though,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are. Certainly, yeah.
Do you get a sense, especially with the years in between of not having new music, do you get a sense of Gene Loves Jezebel's place in the music spectrum at this point, or does that even matter?
It's never mattered to me, but I don't mind when Lady Gaga or Blur or Smashing Pumpkins and all these bands come out and say that we were an influence. I mean, I find that's really nice. I don't think it doesn't matter to me as a human being, to be honest. It just doesn't. I don't, because equally there'd be someone out there who hates what I do. So, it doesn't. I just take the both with the same, grain of salt. So, it's nice when people like you, obviously. And when Smashing Pumpkins came into town, they asked us to come and sing with them, which I did.
Which ended up getting turned into its own song, right? I mean, that's what the Mountain Goats wrote about?
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, that was another thing. That's synchronicity.
Okay.
That's weird thing. I mean, they didn't even realize we were bringing an album out, so that was quite funny because they released that, and I'm very flattered by it. and it's just so weird that they couldn't have known we were bringing a record out because we kept it quiet. So that was weird that came out. But yeah, I mean, the Dead Milkmans, they wrote about us many years ago, slagged us off, but you get both ways.
All press is good press, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't like all my records.
Well,
but people do. So some of the songs we don't like, people absolutely love, and that's, you can't judge your own songs.
Yeah, what I really love about you guys and where you are right now, and again, just this amazingly great record that's come out. It's it's fun because I'll find friends or new friends of mine that know about you, and we get to have this great conversation. You're almost like a secret handshake band at this point, like, oh, the GLZ catalog, and then at the same time, being on the radio and these younger folks, just coming up and figuring you out, and I get to introduce them to you with this new record, and like, this is why you need to go back. I mean, it's a really great position for you guys.
That's a fear for any band of our vintage, I guess, is to go in the studio and just make something that's trying to be like you were in 1985 or 86, but which was never the way we wanted to play. I mean, luckily I like to write, I love melodies, and I love songs, so there was never any danger of me just rewriting Emotional Love or Desire or something. That was never going to happen.
Yeah.
Every song has to be different. I always like to think when you hear one of our songs, you know which song it is. But if it's 20 Killers or Gorgeous or any of those songs, they all have a signature. You don't want to repeat yourself. So.
Yeah, well, I couldn't be happier with the record myself. So I thank you guys for sticking with it and for talking with me today.
No, thank you.
This is
thank you.
Fun.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and good luck out there, and hopefully it won't be another 20 years until we do this again. So.
No, hopefully we can come out there and tour and that. That would be ideal. We'll obviously endeavour to do that. The US release, as you probably know, it's officially released in September. So this is a prelude to it. So,
all right, cool.
We look forward to coming out.
Yeah, me too. All right, well, take care, Jay.
Oh, thanks, Kyle. You have a good. Take care out there too. All the best. Thank you, my friend.
All right, bye.
Okay. Bye.